Before we get started today, I would like to draw attention to a GoFundMe that my friend and the moderator of our Discord channel, Malcaria, is running. She's trying to raise money to visit her brother who is stationed in Japan. She's trying to raise $1,800 by May 16th. I had said April 28th previously. That's just because I don't know how to read. So that was my mistake. So she's trying to raise that much money by May 16th, which still isn't very long. And I'll include a link to the GoFundMe in the description. If you have any money at all that you're able to donate, I would be very appreciative if you would consider chipping it in to help my friend go and see her brother who is stationed in Japan. So, thank you very much for listening and donating any money if you do, and now let's get back to business. Okay, it's Sunday, which means against my better judgment, it's time to go on Reddit and see what questions we can dredge up from this wretched hive of scum and villainy. I feel like my aim and DM usage is what's keeping me from diamond possible, but you could just be bad. When you place your turret and want to upgrade right away, time your first attack. You place your just... Oh, because there's like a half-second period where you can't actually like upgrade the turret immediately. Yeah, it's true, fair enough. Maybe just don't play Torbjorn, but I guess that would be a little bit too sensible, really, you know? Why would people want to get boosted? Well, there's a few reasons. From my perspective, there's 3 reasons people would want to get boosted. First off is they want to brag about their SR, but they aren't actually good enough to get to a high SR, so they get somebody to boost them up, and then they brag about their SR. Secondarily is they genuinely believe that they're in ELO hell, and they can't get out, so they get somebody to get them out for them instead. And thirdly is they want to play with their friend, but they're too bad to actually play with the friend, so the friend will boost them so that they are inside the 1000 SR difference. I've done that one before. Gotten boosted, obviously. I couldn't boost no one. From my perspective, those are the only reasons that people would want to get boosted. Because, you know, there aren't many reasons to be a high SR, so... What are the worst maps for May? Junkertown? Well, the first checkpoint on Junkertown. The second and third are, like, contained enough. No, I was gonna say Numbani, but she's pretty good on Numbani. I can only really think of Junkertown offhand. Maybe the comments. Do we really want to consult the comments on Reddit? Maybe somebody's, you know, a noob. I saw Anubis in this comment, and I was like, are you saying Anubis is a bad point for May? You fucking madman. Nah. Works best on. Yeah, Junkertown. But, like, again, like, the second and third checkpoints are quite confined, so, like, the first one... Nah, Gibraltar, you madman. Again, maybe the first checkpoint, well... She's really good in the hangar, which is, like, most of Gibraltar, honestly. She's good on Numbani. Because the first checkpoint has a bunch of places you can cut them off. You cut them off in the street. Like, there's loads of places you can cut them off in Numbani. This was a waste of time. I should have known. I should have known better than to think Reddit had actually something helpful to say. Small tips that everyone can apply at every rank. But heavily underused. Death cam. No. Immediate dismissal. How to get better at low rank when your mistakes aren't punished. I mean, you can still know when you made a mistake that you didn't get punished for. I've been in a lot of situations where I was like, oh, I should have died for that, but I didn't, and I got away. Like, that means I made a mistake and I didn't get punished for it, you know? Like, if you watch, like, your games back or what have you, you can, like, clearly see, like, if you went too far up and things like that and didn't get punished for it, but, like... It's definitely possible to know you made a mistake when you didn't get punished for it, so you just have to internalize, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I got away with it, but I shouldn't have done that. And, you can definitely still know you made a mistake, you have to just then remember to still internalize it. I mean, which is harder, because you didn't get punished for it, but you can still know, so, like, just think, fuck. I fucked up. I got away with it, but I still fucked up. Some questions about the triple support comp. It's actually 2 tanks. It's, whatever. Which third support is preferred? Well, the core is. Okay, so if we operate under the assumption Reinhardt, Zarya, Bridget, Zenyatta. Then the third best support would be Moira or Ana. Mercy is like never bad, but Moira would be the best one in my opinion. Which solo DPS or third tank is preferred? I think Junkrat, because you need someone that does a lot of damage, basically. Like Junkrat or Pharah. The Pharah is better if you've got a Mercy, obviously. Because if you only have one DPS, you kind of need a DPS that does a lot of damage, and Junkrat and Pharah are the two that make the most sense. Also, the Pharah and Junkrat are good against the same team composition. So they would make sense to pick if we assume the enemy team is going to be running something similar to us. Third tank-wise, probably Orisa, because again, you want somebody that does damage, but yeah. On maps with a lot of high ground, should you switch off of Reinhardt and or Zarya to more mobile tanks? You definitely don't have to change off of Zarya, because Zarya is frequently played on dive comps alongside a Winston. So if the Reinhardt changes to Winston, you definitely don't need to change off Zarya. Zarya has never particularly cared that much, because she can affect the fight on high ground as well. Like bubbling the people that are going in. Like maybe you switch off of the Reinhardt to the Winston or the D.Va, but I mean, I've played Reinhardt on maps that have a lot of high ground control, so it's hardly the end of the world if you're playing Reinhardt in that situation. What adjustments, particularly for the DPS third tank slot, should be made for various counter picks, e.g. Pharah? Well, I mean, if it's Pharah, then it's one of the hit scan DPS or D.Va. Those are like the options, you know. If it's a sniper, then you know Winston or D.Va. Maybe your DPS changes to a sniper. Like, I mean, it's just counter picks are usually very straightforward in Overwatch, because like Pharah, it's a hit scan or a D.Va. You know, if it's a sniper, it's a dive tank or another sniper or Genji as well. To be fair, you know, it's counter picking is usually not that hard to figure out, really, because if you're changing to specifically to counterpick someone, it's usually a pretty extreme example. Assuming your team is willing and able, are there any situations where a triple support comp is not a good choice? Right now, I don't think so. I think the well, that's from my whatever, triple support. From in my opinion, it's like the best team comp you can have right now. So I don't really think so. I can't think of any team composition I would see that would make me go, oh, this is a bad comp. Maybe like all-in cheese comp, but like having a lot of healing and tanks kind of gets you through an all-in cheese comp as well in a way. So like, not really. Are there any situations where it would be preferable to run triple support with a solo main tank? Bridget's actually an off-tank. So that should answer your question. Why climbing in lower ranks might be more difficult? It's because people are fucking bad. Oh god, get out of my face. Zen healing in the new meta. I noticed with new comps, my healing has been lower this season. I'm not sure if it's orb management. I mean, Zen hasn't changed, no. Moira just sort of ambiently heals, not Moira, Bridget ambiently heals people. I mean, whenever, like, Zen doesn't do a lot of healing outside of Transcendence, right? So, like, if you've got another 2 healers on your team, Zenyatta is going to end up doing lower healing. But Zenyatta has always been good, not because of his healing, but because Discord is very strong and Transcendence are very strong. So, those 2 things about Zenyatta haven't changed. How do I deal with these type of friends? Am I wrong for wanting to do this legitly? I have a couple of friends who all they ever care about is low-key bragging rights, even if they have to call in high elo players to boost them or find... Oh, we were just talking about this. Now, I have a couple of friends who is willing to do that, provided I have an alt account, but I don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. Good for you. It irks me and it shouldn't. Why do Overwatch make people toxic? Why are bragging rights so important? I mean, this is not exclusive to Overwatch. Like, fucking... League of Legends is rampant with boosters. Like, this is not a development specifically for Overwatch. Overwatch's community is like overwhelmingly toxic though. Like, speaking as someone who played League of Legends for fucking like 7 years, Overwatch's community is like 5 times worse than League of Legends community. Like, it's actually startling how awful Overwatch's community is. And this is the problem with a game that is casual friendly, is it's going to have a bigger player base, and by virtue of that, there's going to be more toxic people. But Overwatch has just such an overwhelmingly toxic community, because it's an inherently very team-based game, which makes it difficult to, like, solo carry and things like that, which feeds into the saltiness and the toxicity. This isn't really an Overwatch thing. Like, this is just how people are. People like to brag about their rating in video games, and they will boost their, you know, all of that stuff. It's not an Overwatch-specific thing. But Overwatch's community is extremely awful. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I'm just kind of leaning on it. If you want to sponsor me, Pepsi, I'll take some money. I like Pepsi. He wished. Counter to this triple heal Rein Zarya combo. Ana. Pharah. It's about the best you can do. If there's one thing that is overwhelmingly strong, there tends to be good reason for it. And basically, the way it just gets by having people that are very hard to kill. So, like, Ana's bio grenade is as good as it's ever been. This team comp in general is not super threatening to Ana because it tends to be very lacking in dive, which is typically Ana's problem. And you probably also have a Bridget on your team, which makes it harder for them to kill you regardless. So Ana's bio grenade is very strong. If you nano boost like your Bridget or your Reinhardt, they tend to just tear shit in the team comp. Genji can actually kill people through all the healing with Dragon Blade if he's nano boosted. Ana's very good against the triple heal comp, and yeah, that's like about the best one. Zen as well, because Discord is strong, but I mean, he's part of that combo, so, you know. Yeah, Ana, Pharah, those are about the best you can do. Pharah just, like, can't be threatened by the majority of the team comp, which is why she's good. And the bio grenade is as good as it's ever been, and that comp is generally not super threatening to Ana. What does it mean when I have gold damage as a DPS, bronze eliminations? It means you're doing a lot of damage, but it's not actually converting into kills, which is the important part. If you have gold damage, but, like, no eliminations medal, that means you're not actually accomplishing much of anything, because if you're just doing nothing but trash damage and it's never actually converting into a kill, the damage was meaningless. The only hit point that actually matters is the last one, because that's the one that kills the person. So, if you have gold damage with bronze eliminations, just try... It could be a focus issue, where you're switching between targets too much in a fight and you're not actually finishing anybody off, or it could just be that you're just doing, like, a lot of trash damage when things are neutral and then not actually, like, finishing off kills. So, which, I mean, is still kind of a focus thing at the end of the day. It's probably a target focus issue. Try to focus on, like, actually finishing off the people you're damaging, rather than just, like, doing damage. The goal is to kill people, not damage them. Yes, damaging them leads to killing them, but it's the killing them that's the actually important part, right? Pepsi. Hit me up. Is it bad to play ranked at level 25? You gotta do it sooner or later. If you wanna do it, fucking go do it. Who gives a shit? You are gonna lose games regardless. The only way you get better is by getting beat by people who are better than you, basically. So, go for it. Who cares? People might shit-talk you, but they'll shit-talk you regardless. Doesn't matter if you're level 25 or not. If you're fucking level 100, they'll shit-talk you for only being in fucking silver when you're level 100, right? At the end of the day, people will find an excuse to shit-talk you if they're gonna shit-talk you, so, like, who cares? Go in there. Play. Best times and days of the week to queue comp. probably like peak hours, basically, because that's when good people are likely to be online. Because, I mean, if you play like late at night or like really early in the morning, there's going to be less people around. They're more inclined to do weird shit at that time of day. So like probably just like peak hours, but like it's not going to matter that much at the end of the day. If I'm a new user, what level will I start in? As a healer main, I've been stuck in bronze hell since last season. This is after I won 9 in 10 placement matches. This placement matches nonsense is also like a hindrance to people, because like basically your placement matches are just 10 matches where you can't see your SR. That's like basically what it amounts to. And then like people are like, what the fuck, I went like 10-0 in my placements, but it put me like barely any higher. Yeah, because you kind of just won 10 games. Like it didn't really affect anything. Which was pretty depressing. 900 right now. I have an opportunity to get a new account, so I'm wondering if I do it. You would probably between like silver and gold somewhere. Like if you do really well, probably like high silver gold. And I mean, it's probably easier. Like 900, like you have to be really good to carry in that SR, and if you're a healer main, that's hard. It might work. I mean, I just don't play a main, like don't play a healer. Just play like fucking Winston or some shit. People don't know what to do against Winston. No problem. Easy money. Which heroes, what role is the most responsible for staying on the payload? Tanks. Main tanks, in particular. Reinhardt, Orisa, Winston. Tanks. What tank do I play against Hanzo, Brigitte, Baguette? The thing is that, there's no good answer, right? Because the best you can basically do is like Orisa or Reinhardt. Because Winston gets fucked, Diva gets fucked, Zarya's never going to do anything to him, and Roadhog's never really going to do anything to him, unless they really fuck up. So, it's one of those things where, like, there's no tank you can pick that's gonna crush him, or, like, counter him, really. So, like, the best you do is by being basically neutral, because there isn't a tank that's, like, good against them, really. Especially together, because, like, yeah, okay, you know, Winston or Diva against Hanzo. Yeah, Brigitte's there, though. Well, if I'll pick, like, Roadhog to try and kill... Oh, but Hanzo's there. It's one of those things where, like, there isn't a tank that's, like, really good against them. So you just kind of, like, be neutral. It's like Reinhardt and Orisa, because they're, like, the most team-centric ones, basically. And, like, you kind of need teamwork to overcome this kind of arrangement that we've got going on right now, which is very upsetting. I know. What's the best way to win in comp when you have teammates that always insta-lock DPS? I mean, if it's literally like 5 DPS, just pick a healer, because like you need a healer. I've seen teams win without a tank. I've never seen a team win without a healer. Like, just pick, if it's like literally 5 DPS, just pick a main healer. And hope that the enemy team is bad, basically. You know, the thing is that people are, you can't control people. So, like, if they're gonna do that, there's nothing you can do about it. The thing is, with playing in competitive, is just that, like, over a period of time, as long as you consistently play well, you will climb over time, because if you're playing consistently well, there's one less person on your team that can be bad and cost you the game, right? So statistically, the enemy team always has a worse chance of winning. Because if we assume you're always playing well, you've only got 5 people that can throw the game. They've got 6 people that can throw the game. So this is just, if you're playing consistently well over a long period of time, you will climb. It might take a really long time. Like, especially if you're only, like, slightly better than the SR. You're like, if you're in gold and you're, like, a platinum player, it might take a while. Because if you aren't, like, way better than the SR you're currently in, you aren't gonna, like, carry that game very consistently, right? So, like, this is the thing with climbing, is it's like you're always going to have games where people don't want to work together and you just got 5 DPS. Like it's just going to happen. That's just the nature of playing a team-based game competitively. It's just over a period of time, you will end up where you should be because you are playing consistently well. Climbing is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Games like that happen. You're going to have teams like that. You're going to have throwers, you're going to have leavers, you're going to have trolls. The enemy team are going to crush you some games. It's just how it is. It's just you play consistently well, so you climb. So, like, don't, like, let that game bother you. Just, like, play a healer if it's literally 5 DPS and, like, hope you win. But, like, you can't win them all, basically. I'm not sure if that's even a helpful tip, but I'll share. That being said, let's talk about if you're playing a mode with a time limit, so other than Koth, I mean, Koth has a time limit, but, and of course, if it didn't reach 0 yet, you can use it to track the duration of certain ultimates. That's actually a good tip for things where it's difficult to track whether they've ended or not. Like, you hear Widowmaker start her ultimate, well, there's no cue for when it ends, so you just look at the timer, and then go, alright, Widow's ult lasts, what, 8 seconds, I think? How long does Widowmaker's ult last? Let's go over here to the other window. I think it lasts 8 seconds. Widow. Doesn't really matter. Widowmaker stats. Now this could end up with some very different results than what I'm looking for. No, we got the Widowmaker. Cool. Widowmaker's ult lasts... Really lasts 15.5 seconds? That's obscene. Okay, I was like, really? I didn't think it lasted that long. Okay, so it lasts 15.5 seconds. Let's just say 16. So you just look at the timer and you go, alright, X minus 16, that's when it's going to be over. And now I can poke my face out again. 15.5 seconds? I'm like, don't trust the wiki. I'm like, that just sounds wrong. But, like, who am I to argue with the wiki? I'm not going to. Are there any tricks to never autopilot? Be, like, really conscious of whether or not you're paying attention? It's like one of those questions. It's like, you just kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing. You know, it's like a personal problem right there. You just gotta pay attention to what you're doing and be like, oh fuck, I just like can't focus right now, right, or what have you. Like, you just gotta be cognizant of what you're doing and thinking about. This is not the kind of thing there's really tips and tricks about. It's just like, be aware of your own self, you know? Like, why does a team with Brigade not work without a rhyme? I mean, it does. I've seen Baguette teams work without a Reinhardt. There's a video on the channel where I was solo tanking as Bridget and we won. Like, it does work. Rein in general is a good tank, despite what Reddit will tell you. Reinhardt has the second highest win rate of all tanks right now, and has been third, I think, for a while. So, like, Reinhardt's just good. Especially in low SR. So it's just like, and by low SR I basically mean everything below Grandmaster in regards to this, because just having a shield is really good, especially if people are bad. So it's just like, having a Reinhardt on your team increases your chances of winning. Especially if they have a Reinhardt and you don't have a Reinhardt, that makes it a lot harder for you to win, because then it's just free Earth Shatters and it's free money. Free money for him, especially now, where team comps are so static currently. It's very easy to get big Earth Shatters. So it's just like, Rein's just good. So like, it can work without a Reinhardt. It's just like, Rein is good, so he increases your chances of winning, basically, especially if they also have a Reinhardt. I want to win, but have fun at the same time. This game makes me so frustrated to even have fun in the first place. How do I play competitive without any sort of toxicity, others or my own, from getting to me? I mean, well, step one, don't bother joining voice chat. It's a true wretched hive of scum and villainy. Despite what many people will tell you, you don't need to join voice chat to get anywhere. Most of the time, voice chat is at best useless, and at worst actively detrimental, because people are way more vocal and start complaining in voice chat. People also don't know how to communicate anyway, so you need to get, like, for voice chat to work, everybody in voice chat has to not be toxic, right? Because as long as there's one toxic person, that shuts the whole thing down. So nobody has to be toxic in voice chat. We're playing Overwatch, this is already hard. But then enough people have to know how to communicate properly for it to even matter. And that's a skill that not many people in this game actually have either. Their idea of communicating is just yelling, Lucio won, Lucio has not held, no, they don't know how to communicate properly, and they just ramble on, like, oh, fuck, ah, shit, I died, oh, God. It's not helpful. So you don't have to join voice chat. It's a large source of toxicity. Don't bother with that if you're doing that. I've never joined voice chat in my life, and I got the masters, so it clearly doesn't matter that much if a scrub like me can get up there without even joining voice chat. Secondarily, just play the hero you want to play. People fret so much. Just, like, play the hero you want to play. They fret so much over, like, team composition, flexing, and all. Just, like, play whoever you want to fucking play. Who cares? Right? Like, just pick the hero you want to pick. I'm bad at the hero, I'm gonna lose the game. No one ever got good at anything by not doing it, did they? Like, you gotta practice if you want to do it. So, like, just, like, don't join voice chat. Fucking mute everyone so you can't even, like, fucking, who cares? If they're toxic in the chat, just, like, mute everyone as soon as you get in the game, if that bothers you. That's some old League of Legends advice right there. If you are easily upset, just mute fucking everyone. Who gives a shit? This is perhaps why Reddit has such a huge issue with me. I'm like, don't talk to anyone. They're all bad. As soon as anything, Reddit's not a big fan of me. I wonder why. Don't just, like, mute everyone if you're easily upset by people. Whatever. Who cares? Play whoever you want to play. If you've been, like, fucking filling as a tank or a healer or whatever, but you really want to play Widowmaker, just play Widowmaker. Yeah, you're going to be bad at Widowmaker, and people are going to shit-talk you. Fucking mute them, as we just established. If you want to play that hero, just, like, mute everybody if toxicity gets to you. Who cares? Teamwork, like, alright, you gotta work with your team. Most fucking solo queue teams in Overwatch don't know how to communicate with each other. Nothing is lost by not communicating with them. And just play whoever you want to play. Just, like, do whatever you want to do. And, you know, if it's more that, like, you're beating yourself up about it, I mean, just don't beat yourself up about it. Like, it's just a video game at the end of the day, right? The whole point of a video game is to have fun. Don't try not to beat yourself up too badly about it, basically. It's just points on the internet. They ultimately don't actually mean anything. They only mean as much as you ascribe to them, you know? Point A Gibraltar, traditional dive tank or Zarya Rein in the new meta? Dive is hard to do against Bridget, so that should probably answer the question. My advice about low-tier comms, we were just don't do it. Fucking he knows. Yeah, just don't do it. Oh, Taku wins. You're my hero. Oh my god. You must join voice chat and participate in organized strategy session. Yeah, fucking get out the laser pointer and converse on the board with each other, right? This is, so, to head off people and saying I'm wrist raging, this is not, just don't do it. After several decades of low-tier experience, I can tell you there's absolutely nothing you will hear on voice chat or see in chat that will have a significant impact on the win-loss column. Truth is, 80% of the players are awesome and really nice, but sadly, these are the people that are mostly silent. The most active people in voice and chat are the trolls and the I am a god and all these noobs suck players. You really cannot get away from this basic truth of life. So my advice to low-tier players is 1, disable voice, and 2, disable chat, and just play the game. You will make more progress while staying focused on your own positive goals than you will trying trying to triage the incessant negativity that comes with chat and voice. Yes, he knows. Oh, Taku, isn't you my hero? He gets it. He understands. Good to see there are some people on Reddit that actually know what they're talking about. Well, I just want to look. Mute those being rude, all the usual response. The thing is, though, as soon as one person is being an asshole, that shuts down everything else, because suddenly all eyes are on the asshole. Right? Like, they fuck it up. Just having one asshole spoils the whole thing, because that's all eyes are on the asshole. Everybody's paying attention to the asshole. They dominate the whole fucking thing, don't they? Mute everyone. Nobody's got anything of value to say. Yes, that includes me. This is why I don't participate in chat. I've got nothing of value to say, and I actively tilt people because I'm an argumentative individual. Question about Ana buff and pre-healing. Ana's new buff makes her shots go... Finally, by the way. Finally. So you won't... It's not in the... It's on the PTR. Her shots go through full health targets. You won't be able to pre-heal anymore. This got me thinking about her whole healing mechanic. Isn't the mechanic itself a little power creeped? One of the biggest things about things people want for Ana is a niche, but if you want burst damage, Moira is better. Mercy is better at sustain. However, these two still do healing over time and their healing method. I mean, you just said that Moira is good at burst. That's not healing over time if you burst them. But I mean, I get it, she puts a regen on them, but like, if you just said one of them is good at burst. That's not really, like, it is, she does literally have a healing over time effect, but you aren't burst and healing over time at the same time, because if you burst heal them, there's no time, right? That's the thing. And this is very nitpicky. However, these still, yeah. Ana is the only character who can instantly heal for a chunk of health with Bio Grenade. You know Bridget's in the game, right? Why don't they have this for her weapon too? It would make it easier. I mean, like, as pointed out by Koku, instant heal could be a problem due to the interaction with instant damage, i.e., what happens if someone gets hit with fatal damage and instant heal at the same time? Could sort out this issue at the same time. Were applied as fatal damage. So, as an alternative, what if Ana's healing was to tick up at a faster rate, so it's not instant, but it applies very quickly? I mean, it does apply quite quickly. I think this is, in general, a pointless discussion. I wish we hadn't even entertained it, because I don't think that would affect a damn thing. May is sleeper OP this patch. Disagree. Question about Brigitte's positioning. Where in my team should I be when I'm playing her? Should I be in the front line with Ryan, or should I be in the back line with a very simple flowchart? Are there divers, flankers trying to kill my back line? If yes, stay with your back line and protect them. If no, go be with the front line and be another tank. Very straightforward. Because, you know, I don't want to go on it. Because you're a bodyguarding hero, so... If people need bodyguarding, you bodyguard them. If not, you go do other things. How do I effectively use Ryan's ult? I mean, what kind of question is this? I really enjoy playing Ryan, and I'm consistently able to have my ult available. I'm having trouble making it feel impactful, though. Should I keep it as... No, don't do that. Am I wasting it if I'm not comboing it? No, it's not very good for comboing, really. Please enlighten me. Try to hit a couple of people and then kill them. Yes, it's like... Ryan's ult isn't very complicated. Like, it's not great for comboing. Like, because if you Earth Shatter them, you should be in a position where you can actually, like, wade in and start killing them. And, like, you should be able to kill the people you Earth Shattered, really. It's not really a combo ult. A combo ult is like Graviton, because it groups them all together for the combo. Earth Shatter, like, there's a lot of ultimates that have active anti-synergy with Earth Shatter. When you Earth Shatter and then the Roadhog goes, I'm gonna ult too, and then he pushes all of the stunned people away from you. My favorite. I love it. I mean, it's just like I can hit like two or more people with it. you know, 2 or more people with it, and I am in a position to capitalize, and my team is with me. It's not really a very complex to use ultimate. You're just trying to hit a bunch of people with it, and then wait in and start hitting them. Don't use it in a panic situation, because Reinhardt's ult, it does have a cast time. It's probably the most interrupted ultimate in the game right now. Because I've seen, so many, and then Reinhardt's sad. So don't use it as a panic button. Like, you're trying to engage a fight with it. Like, you're trying to engage a fight with it, really. You aren't wasting it if you're not comboing it, because it's not really a combo ult. It by itself is threatening enough, because you're there to start hitting people. So, just try and hit 2+ people with it, and when you're trying to engage a fight, make sure your team are around as well, because, like, don't do it 1v6, you know? Typical ult advice, basically. Is Hanzo the new Tracer? When is Hanzo a bad pick? Literally never. Literally never. 3 rules to climb from gold to plat. Oh, it's a video. Psst. Weird Guardian Angel saved my life. Any ideas of what happened? I don't wanna just like show someone's video without permission, so I'm gonna take it over here and look at it. Even though, you know, they posted it on Reddit or whatever, but you know. Oh. So what happened was they were over the ledge on the 3rd checkpoint on Gibraltar, and they tried to GA to the Zarya, who they were tethered to, but they didn't quite go over the edge. But then as they were falling, it locked on to Zarya again through the wall and pulled them up. It's just a bug, but like that was weird. It was literally just definitely couldn't see the Zarya. Lock on, push it, goes back over the edge. Definitely shouldn't have locked on, so it was definitely just a bug. It was weird, yeah. I was like, how does it save her life here? Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Let's see. How to be more consistent. I hope you can help me out. I'm a diamond support and tank player. That's me. But recently, right a few months back, I decided to practice my skills on a DPS hero so I could eventually fill all roles in the game. So I created a new account. I initially ranked into gold, and since then I've made it to plat. No matter how much I improve, I notice there is a huge difference between my performance between days. Is like, people are inherently inconsistent. What do you, and like hit scan specifically, like, people are inherently inconsistent creatures. No Widowmaker dominates 100% of the games they play in, even if they're a god, right? Like, humans are inherently inconsistent. So, you, being a human being, I assume, maybe not, but probably a human being, you too will be an inconsistent creature. Sometimes you will dominate, and sometimes you will suck ass. That's just how life is. And there's, like, aim-dependent heroes, like, aim is something that can have huge variance on it between games. Like, it's just like, you practice enough, you get more consistent, like, through muscle memory and all that. You are never gonna get to the point where you're 100% consistent. It's just something that does vary greatly. Stuck in bronze as Lucio, but consistently getting multiple golds and working with team. Need help. Do you want to elaborate more? Because I'm prepared to just write it off as, like, you're playing Lucio, so it's hard to climb. After a while, on a losing streak in between levers, teams with no mics. I dropped to 900 SR. I'm currently at 900 SR and I've gotten pretty good as Lucio, to the point where I played quick play with my friends who are plat and was able to keep up. I almost always get gold healing with Lucio. We're usually bronze or silver. I literally just finished a game where I had all the golds and we lost. I mean, the thing is that, like, here's the limbs and objective kills are kills and assists. Lucio tends to get a lot of assists, so like having gold limbs isn't very shocking. Having gold healing is rather sad. And like Lucio's on the objective a lot. If you have gold damage, I'm not surprised. You're in 900 SR. People don't know how to play the game here. Don't get me wrong, I'm not flawless either. play someone other than Lucio until you're in a higher SR. Just, like, play Winston. People in 900 SR don't know what to do when a Winston jumps on them. Just play Winston, kill the entire enemy team. Get to, like, a higher SR, then play Lucio, where people are somewhat competent, basically. If you're a support player, it's harder to climb, right? Like, especially in very low SR, because you are, as a support, you are at least somewhat beholden to your team playing decently well. So, like, if you're very low SR, just play a different hero, right? You don't have to be great, right? Like, Winston's very easy, but people don't know what to do against Winston in very low SR. They'll panic. You don't even have to be really good at Winston. You just have to be able to, like, play even remotely okay, and you'll win, because they don't know what to do when a Winston jumps on them. They won't react appropriately. So as long as you know roughly what you're trying to do as Winston, you'll probably win the game, and they won't. And then just, like, get to a decent SR and then play the support hero. Might sound like shitty advice, but people are bad, and supports are, like, at least a little beholden to their team, right? Like, especially Mercy. It's a very common Mercy thing. I'm in fucking absolute rock bottom SR. How do I climb as Mercy? Don't play Mercy. It's very, very simple. Please, please don't nano boost Primal Rage. It is very bad. It is a very bad nano boost target. Don't nano boost the Primal Rage Winston. I'm always very upset when it happens to me. A video on the Season 10 meta for offense heroes. Should I change certain sensitivities for heroes? It's like Winston, you don't really need to aim specifically, so yeah, you can, like, crank up his sensitivity so you can, like, do turns faster. You know, it makes it easier to, like, jump through the air, whip around, so you fly at them ass first so they can't headshot you, and then whip around again. Like, you know, there are some heroes where aim is less important, so you can turn up the sensitivity, sure. Like, you know, again, it's a sensitivity question, so it's like, whatever works for you, dude. Fucking FOV, yeah, put it to max, right? Which is 103 for some stupid reason, but whatever. Whatever feels right. How to practice Widow aim. Play a lot of Widowmaker. Very simple. I have questions about Moira's Biotic Grasp and Coalesce. Can her Biotic Grasp travel through enemy shields? Let me just, like, make sure I've got these ability names correct, because I don't call them anything that they're supposed to be called. Moira stats. A Biotic Grasp is the right click, right? Yeah, well, it's both, isn't it? Both are called Biotic Grasp. Even though the heal isn't really grasping them, but, you know, whatever. The heal goes through shields, the right click does not. Coalescence goes through enemy shields, yes. Yeah, left heal goes through, damage doesn't. Though apparently the heal going through is a fucking bug, according to Blizzard. What are the best heroes for each map? Oh my god, that's such a big question. For examples are good on King's Row, but not on other maps. Should I just play my best heroes, even if they are at a disadvantage? No hero is, like, unplayably bad on a map, okay? Like, yeah, if it has a lot of high ground control, Moira isn't ideal, but, like, it's not... She can still do Nambani, right? Like, it's not... No hero is, like, at such a disadvantage map-wise, you can't play them. So just, like, play whatever is best, you're best at, and whoever you want to play. Like, no hero is, like, unplayable on a map. Some tips for Pharah. Recently, I've started playing Pharah, and I love playing her. Silver rank. 60-70% accuracy, that's good. So I've got aim, yet my win rate is 40%. Any tips to survive longer, and maybe just be better in general with her? Also, I have no idea when to use her ultimate or how to use Concussive Blast, other than for booping people off the map. So, first off, think about cover in the third dimension. That's very important, because most Pharahs just kind of, like, float around in open space, which is, like, how you die. You have to actually use cover while you're in the air, so you have to actually still use corners and shit to hide behind, right? It's just you're doing it in the air rather than on the ground. And because you're in the air, you can use slightly different geometry, like, Volskaya, first checkpoint, you can use, like, the top of the gate as cover and just, like, bob over it, you know? Or you can use the buildings on the sides and, like, float out around the corner. Like, think about cover in the third dimension. Don't just float out in open space. That's, like, the biggest thing. If you have very short-range healers on your team, so Moira, Lucio, you have to be aware that they can't heal you very well when you're in the sky, so you have to either come back to them to get healing, or you have to play around health packs more. If you have a Mercy or a Zenyatta, it's easier because they can heal you from far away. Bridget as well can do that, but if you have, like, short-range healers and Bridget, you know, like, they're not going to heal you that much, so you have to be aware of that and either come to them or use health kits more. Concussive Blast, you use it to boot people off the map. You can use it to save people, like somebody's about to get pinned by Reinhardt, you can boot Reinhardt out of the way, stuff like that, but that's not really why it's used. The biggest thing, Concussive Blast, is it's most often used for your own mobility. Because you can Concussive Blast and you just suddenly go real far. So if you watch, like, a really good Pharah player, like, you'll watch them just, like, really aggressively poking from various locations. Like, you know, if like Volskaya, they're bob up, then they go over on the left, poke out that way, they'll come up in the window, shoot through there, varying up where they're coming from so the enemy's not expecting it. And then they'll build up their ultimate from really aggressively poking, then they'll wait for their team to engage, then they'll just, like, come over the top, Concussive Blast, float right over to exactly where they want to be, barrage, and kill the entire enemy team. Concussive Blast is most used for your own mobility. Don't boot people just for the sake of it. If you can save somebody, push them off the map, you know, like fuck up McCree by, like, pushing him back so he can't see anybody with dead eye, stuff like that. Fair enough. Most often used for your own mobility, though. Her ultimate, you either flank with it or you wait for your team to engage and then you use it. So if you're flanking, like, imagine we're on Gibraltar in the hangar, right? Teams fighting under the bridge, you know, payload goes up under the bridge on the top, they're fighting over there. We go up on the top of the ship, go around the back, float down behind them. Don't shoot while you're doing this. If you're specifically trying to flank them with your ultimate, don't fire until before you ult, because you don't want them to know you're coming with the barrage. So you just go over the ship, come down behind them, just float up right next to them, then bam, just ult right behind them and kill them. Otherwise, you know, if you got like a Zarya on your team, real straightforward. If you got a Reinhardt, you can wait for him to like engage a fight and then barrage on the top of it. So, like, if either flank with it, wait for your team to engage, and then use it. You know, sometimes you don't even use it during a team fight, because, like, Pharah is better than barrage. So, like, if you can hit people, that's great. Pharah is picked because of the pressure she applies, right? She's not really picked because of her ultimate. Her ultimate's cool, especially if you have, like, Zarya on your team, but it's more just about applying pressure and picking people. So, you know, basically some tips for Pharah. Lost connection to the server. I've had 14 match. Yeah, I've been having weird connection issues lately as well. I've seen a lot of people, like, DCing lately as well, so I don't know if there's kind of an issue going on. My name is a bit of an asshole. Which is a lot more dull and toxic. So one thing I always just make sure I play some free-for-alls then before I play comp. Okay. General tips when it comes to 1v1ing a flanker as a support. Somehow getting your teammates to listen. But mostly I find that people don't really care about protecting the healers. True. They just care about getting that kill on half-health Tracer. Like, 1v1ing a flanker as a support is hard. You're not meant to win the fight, so it's always going to be difficult. If you're, if you're playing Ana, you're just trying to get one of your cooldowns on them. If you're Lucio or Moira, you're not really that likely to kill the flanker, but you're so hard to kill, you probably won't die to them at the same time, because you can just, like, leave, basically, and you're hard to kill, because if you're Moira, you're draining them, and you've got the healing orb, and you can fade away from them. If you're Lucio, you're hard to hit, and you're fast, you know? If you're Mercy, you just leave. You just go to somebody else. GA is great. If you're Ana, you're just trying to like hit them with either the grenade. If you're trying to hit them with the grenade, hit yourself as well with the grenade. Because if you hit yourself and the flanker, they probably don't kill you anymore. Because suddenly you're back to like full health and they lost half their health. So, if you can trank them, that's great. You know, it's like how Ana is basically. And Zenyatta, your only recourse is to kill them. Like either somebody has to help them or you have to kill them. That's it. Zenyatta's got no other options. So it's hard. Flankers are meant to kill supports, so you're naturally at a disadvantage. Am I the only one who thinks the HUD needs map callouts? Something simple they could add would help with the comms across the board. Labeling locations of the map, for example. Your hero icon on the HUD. Just 1, 2-word names, nothing more. I mean, I do sort of wish that the emote wheel was a little bit more customizable. So instead of it just being like, you know, acknowledge, I need healing, blah, 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 there's like 3 where you can put your own thing in it, right? Where it just like, there's like no voice line or anything. It just like does the beep and then puts the thing in text, like what you're trying to say. So like if I'm playing Moira, right, I would like to be able to put something in my, I want to be able to put in my emote wheel, I'm low on resource right now, and then I can just spam. Then when somebody's spamming, I need healing, I go, I got nothing, you know? Or if I'm playing, you know, Bridget, I'll be like, I want to have one on my wheel that's like, armor pack is on cooldown, you know? Just like something I can put in there. Or if I'm playing Reinhardt, I want to be able to put in, like, 1 for my shield is half health, 1 for my shield is almost broken, you know, like things like that. I would like if there were a few customizable emote wheel slots where you can just put in whatever you want and it just puts it, basically like a macro. I want there to be like macro slots in the emote wheel, because I think that would greatly help communication, but Blizzard's not really interested in making the game that much more user-friendly. So, that's been 2 pages. It's a pretty long video. Great. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. And I hope you found the video helpful.